Hi everyone, today I wanted to do a review on Near to the Wild Heart by Clarice Lispector. Clarice Lispector is a Brazilian author and this is her first novel. And I first want to talk about this edition because these editions are very beautiful and newly translated. This translation is by Allison and Tricken. And these collections, you see how it's like half a face. These collections, they come with four of her books, and if you get them all together, they all form a face, and also the same for the back. So this book is about the main character, Joanna, and it's just basically written in the style of an internal monologue of the main character, and throughout the book is chronicling from her childhood all the way to her adulthood and her marriage with her husband. And in the beginning, with her in the childhood, she's a very inquisitive young girl, asking questions. She's growing up with her father. Her mother died when she was young, and eventually, towards as we go along, her father, is no longer with her, and then she ends up living with her aunt and uncle, and they pretty much don't like her. They're pretty much afraid of her and think she's like the devil and she's evil, and they just think that there's something wrong with her, and they feel very uncomfortable with her around, and they end up just sending her to boarding school, which her as a young girl, she's very fine with, and it's reading those parts of the book is kind of humorous in the way that I think she's aware of her aunt and uncle's feelings about her, but she doesn't mind, and she's okay with being sent off. And then later on, it's about her and her marriage with her husband Otavio, and it's just their relationship is interesting because in certain times we're seeing it being narrated maybe from his perspective and then her perspective, and him, it sounds like at moments where he's afraid of her, or he's just tired of her and just doesn't want to be with her anymore. And for her, it's just, throughout this whole novel, it's just, questions about her life, and pretty much, the questions that we all have as people, as growing up, and just questions about yourself, life, the world, other people. And that's why I really, really love this book. She's also been compared to Joyce and Virginia Woolf, which I definitely see. And she's also been compared to Kafka. Joyce and Kafka I haven't read, but I could definitely see Woolf in here. It's just amazing, and there's just so many lines and so many passages where I underlined and marked, because this is honestly one of my favorite things I've read this year. She's definitely an author that's become one of my favorites. I've only read one other book by Lispector, and it was The Hour of the Star, which I enjoyed, but this is her first novel, and I actually enjoyed this a lot more. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was amazing. I was just so hooked with her writing. It was just phenomenal. Let me see if I could read something. Oh, and I also wanted to mention that Near to the Wild Heart is a quote from Joyce, which starts off Um, it starts off, the quote is, "He was alone, he was unheaded, happy, and near to the wild heart of life." So that was James Joyce's quote. There's just so many amazing lines. I don't even know what to pick. It's just, I definitely recommend this author. You don't necessarily have to start with this book. I didn't start with this. I started with After the Start, but honestly, you can start anywhere. I think she's amazing. And a complete work of her stories was released this year. So it's like this huge book of her complete stories, and that came out. So you can get that if you're into if you just want to read some of her stories at first. You could probably like Google her and read maybe snippets. And also Benjamin Moser, he wrote the introduction to this book, and he also wrote the biography of Clarice Lispector, if you're interested in reading her biography. I own almost all the books in this collection of these editions except for one. I have yet to buy her biography and some other books of her, but I definitely just want everything of her, and I just want to consume it all. And so definitely recommend you picking Clarice Lispector up. And if you've read any of her works, if you're interested in any of Lispector, talk to me on the comments below. And yeah, just let me know what you're reading. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.